debates about immigration reforms.
The U.S. and Hungary agreed on a new deal on Monday, just after Trump made stronger connections to controversial allies in Budapest.
Today's weather conditions will be coming up.
One event, dozens of countries. See how Kent State celebrated Global Safari Fest.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Good evening, Portage County, and welcome to your Monday newscast. I'm Lila Schaefer-Hughes.
And I'm Amanda Nichelle. Thank you for joining us. We start today with breaking news here at Kent.
That's right, Amanda. Kent State students received an email this evening as a student living on Lake Hall here on campus was diagnosed with a serious bacterial infection, Neisseria meningitis.
Neisseria meningitis is transmitted from person to person by respiratory secretion or saliva, and symptoms include fever, chills, aches, or pains in muscles, joints, chest, or abdomen, fatigue, cold hands and feet, and a rash.
The student infected is receiving medical care, and individuals who had contact with them were identified and received preventative antibiotics. Those who develop any of these symptoms are advised to seek medical attention immediately. The two 17-year-old boys have been arrested in connection with the fatal shooting of a Lyft driver in Cleveland. The victim, 27-year-old Vasil Shevets, was found by law enforcement, shot inside his vehicle, and pronounced dead at the hospital. The two juvenile suspects were taken into custody along with two firearms, but their names have not yet been released.
Good afternoon, Flashers. I hope everyone had a sensational day today, but thank you for joining me for today's newscast. Without further ado, let's look at our statewide map, and like I said, with all the sunshine came warmer temperatures. We didn't quite get up into the 50s or 60s, but we were above freezing, no snow, no rain, and as we go down south, they were the closest to get to the 50 with Athens in the 47 range, and if we go over by Pittsburgh, they got only to about 45 degrees because closer to the north, but it's how it is. And as we get a closer look, we also got, like I said, 40s. A lot of people got down into the 39 degrees, so not a lot of crazy warm temperatures, but maybe getting a little bit of what spring may look like in the future here in Ohio. And let's look into our today. Here at Kent, we hit a high of 47 degrees, no rain, but lots of sun, so the snow did start to melt, and a little bit of wind, so it was very nice to go out today. It was a great day to take the opportunity of going out and getting away from any germs that may be inside here at Kent. But stick around to see me again talking more about the rest of the forecast for tomorrow and the rest of the week.
A deadlock over funding the Department of Homeland Security continues, with little progress in negotiation.
CNN's very own Tom Homan has more details on this debate.
Border Czar Tom Homan said frozen funding for the Department of Homeland Security won't impact the Trump administration's immigration enforcement operations.
The immigration mission, the reason why President Trump was elected to be president, continues.
Senate Democrats withheld support of a funding package in the wake of the shooting deaths of Alex Preddy and Renee Good by federal immigration agents in Minneapolis last month.
We have a rogue agency. Why don't we rein them in? That's what the American people are asking Republicans.
Democrats want reforms, including tighter parameters around search and arrest warrants and requiring immigration and customs enforcement agents to wear body cameras and remove masks.
They are smashing in windows, dragging people out of cars, breaking into people's homes without warrants. We need protection against that.
Republicans note ICE is already funded via last summer's so-called Big Beautiful Bill, and other DHS agencies will feel the shutdown's brunt.
This whole thing about shutting down DHS to prove a point, I think it's political theater, to be honest with you.
Meanwhile, Homan said he's boosted internal affairs personnel in Minnesota to investigate misconduct allegations among immigration enforcement officers.
I said I was bringing in more internal affairs officers to review the allegations, and those allegations are now being investigated.
Most DHS personnel are considered essential, meaning they're on the job but without pay until a funding agreement is reached. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Trump visiting Venezuela, U.S.-Iran meeting, and more.
Here's KSTV's very own Anne-Marie Chula. Hi, Anne-Marie. Tell us more.
Thanks, guys. U.S. politicians are traveling across the globe to meet with world leaders. First, starting with President Donald Trump. In an announcement that came after U.S. Energy Secretary Chris Wright was there for 2 days as the nation opens its oil sector for U.S. companies again. Wright's visit was after Venezuela's National Assembly signed a law to let both private and foreign investment in its oil industry. After 2 decades of strict state control, Trump believes that is a huge business opportunity for U.S. oil sector. However, it is unknown when he will make the trip. Senator Lindsey Graham visited Israel prior to U.S.-Iran meeting. He said the best option is for the regime adjustments in Tehran. He admitted to the risks of an Iranian counterattack and potential U.S. fatalities, but said the risk was small. Graham said President Trump must fulfill the vow he made to anti-regime protesters in January, saying the moment right now is critical. He also met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem and said both Netanyahu and Trump are on the same page. The U.S. and Hungary agreed to a civilian nuclear cooperation deal on Monday. This comes after the Trump administration strengthened its bilateral connections with a controversial ally during a politically sensitive time for Budapest. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio met with Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban in Budapest. The deal happened 2 months before Hungary's next parliamentary elections.
The United States' interest is to see the war end, and we want to do what we can to make it end. We're the only nation on earth that apparently can get both sides to the table to talk. I'm not here to insult anybody, but the United Nations hasn't been able to do it. We think it's a war that's incredibly damaging. We think it's a war that's incredibly destructive. We think it's a war that never should have happened and should end as soon as possible.
During a press conference in Budapest with Marco Rubio, Prime Minister Viktor Orban said that Hungary endorses the U.S. attempt for peace in Ukraine. Orban complimented President Trump and said that he has done more than others in international politics to improve peace in the Russia-Ukrainian war. He did restate that Hungary is still prepared to hold a possible peace summit in Budapest. Orban also told Rubio that President Trump has a standing invitation to visit Hungary. Now back to Amanda. For KSTV, I'm Anne-Marie Chula.
A former Ukrainian energy minister has been detained in corruption with a major corruption scandal. The search is part of a wide-ranging investigation into corruption in Ukraine's energy sector that sparked a major political crisis last year called the Midas case. Investigators said about $100 million had been allegedly siphoned out off state-owned businesses. 5 people were injured after a train derailed in southern Switzerland, possibly caused by an avalanche incident happened around 7 a.m. Sunday near the village of Goppenstein, which is currently under an avalanche warning. All 29 passengers were rescued, and of the 5 people injured, one of them was taken to the hospital. Prosecutors have opened an investigation as warnings remain in effect across the Swiss Alps.
Find out next what the main warning signs of cancer are and why you should never dismiss them.
Good morning. Hope you all had a good weekend and are ready to be inspired. One quick thing I want to remind you guys to be studying.
Major key alert. Did you just look at your phone while you was in class? You played yourself.
Class, today we're talking about inspirational quotes.
You want to get that paper? You better turn in that paper and get an A+. That's a major key. Another one. Mogul talk. You want to reach the mountaintop? You got to go hard. To succeed, you have to believe. Stay focused. Fly higher than the eagle. Don't ever play yourself. The key is to make it, so make it.
Louise, can you give me an example of an inspirational quote from recent history?
Don't play yourself. The key is to make it.
And who said that?
I did. Now that's a major key alert.
Learn the real major keys to getting to college at getschool.com.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie, nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's put a ride home.
Tomorrow's news leaders.
Today's top stories.
From an award-winning student newsroom.
This is Kent Stater TV.
Your community.
Your stories.
Welcome back. This Friday, Kent State students took a trip around the world without ever leaving campus. Global Safari Fest brought culture, cuisine, performances, and fashion from across the globe right here to Kent.
At Kent State University, students, faculty, and community members are invited to explore a cultural journey at this year's Global Safari Fest. Hosted in collaboration with the International Student Council, the event is part of the I Heart Travel Week and transforms the Kent Student Center Ballroom into an international destination.
We actually have students from more than 100 countries on our campus. So Global Safari Fest is an initiative to bring our campus community together, celebrate this diversity.
Attendees receive a passport that allows them to explore different countries throughout the fair. This allows them to learn more about the traditions, meeting new people, and tasting food from around the world. From global flavors to live cultural performances, the event celebrates the diversity that makes up Kent State's campus community.
It aims to bring all the different students on campus together, whether you're American, international, domestic, wherever you come from, everyone is welcome. This is a way you can share a piece of your culture and your home country. So that's the goal of the event.
Held inside the Student Center Ballroom, Global Safari Fest gives students the chance to expand their world without ever needing a plane ticket. Organizers say the event is designed to create connection and understanding across cultures.
I come here and I try to represent my country and I try to get to know different cultures.
The free event was open to students, staff, and faculty, offering an opportunity to celebrate new connections on campus.
This diversity is what really makes our campus more vibrant and connected. So just an effort to reinforce that idea.
This event, located in the Student Center, ran from 5 to 8 p.m. on Friday night. For KSTV, I'm Lila Schaefer.
Keeping you informed and ahead of the storm, this is your KSTV weather.
Welcome back. Here I am again to bring you some more ups and downs about the weather here in Ohio. Tomorrow's weather we are expected to get, this is the rest of today's, but yeah, today we are only expected to get a little bit more of a decline, only going to the low 40s, not much, nothing excited, no precipitation, no rain. And then tomorrow we are expected to get a high of 55 degrees, but we are exchanging the sun we had today for higher temperatures with more clouds, but no winds. Should be another enjoyable day like today. As we look for the rest of our forecast, we'll have a few more days like today where it's enjoyable, sunny and nice, and where you can go outside. But as we move further in, there will be a chance of rain on Wednesday, and as we get to more Saturday and Sunday into our weekend, more clouds and a bit of chance on Sunday. So that's all I have for today, but make sure you go outside and get the most of the sun while you can now before it becomes more gray. For KSTV, I'm Casey Baylog.
Colorectal cancer is now the deadliest cancer for U.S. adults under the age of 50. In today's Health Minute, CNN's reporter Mandy Geither goes over how one action can not only stop cancer, but help prevent it.
It continues to be a concerning trend. Colorectal cancer is killing more young adults, with death rates rising in those under age 50 by more than 1% every year for more than 20 years, advancing this disease from the 5th most common cause of cancer death in the early to mid-90s to the most common in those under age 50 in 2023.
This is really an outlier and really something that needs significant attention.
Dr. William Dayhut with the American Cancer Society says deaths are declining for other cancers in young adults. It's only colorectal cancer deaths that continue to rise. There are 5 warning signs that many may dismiss: persistent abdominal pain, rectal bleeding, persistent diarrhea or constipation, unexplained weight loss, and iron deficiency anemia, often caused by hidden blood loss leading to fatigue and weakness.
Young people should not ignore any symptom that they find unusual, and that if they see their physician and they're told they're too young to have a problem, they probably need to see somebody else.
Dayhut says about half of the colorectal cancer deaths in young adults are in those between the ages of 45 and 49, and screening is lowest in that age group. A colonoscopy can find polyps which can turn into cancer and get rid of them.
If those polyps are removed, that reduces or can eliminate the risk of cancer from those polyps.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Baby Lennox was the receiver of the first infant partial heart transplant in Minnesota and the upper Midwest. Born with a congenital heart defect, doctors were hopeful this new technique would improve his life. And at just 59 days old, he underwent the procedure, which has been done less than 70 times across the country. A person infected with measles traveled through the terminal last week at Philadelphia International Airport. A notice from the city says the person was in Terminal E, and it advised everyone who was possibly exposed to take action if they were not protected against measles. As for Ohio, in 2025, there were more than 45 cases reported, 3 of those being in Cuyahoga County.
330 pounds of pure cuteness. Find out the new addition to Bouval Zoo next.
The NBA All-Star Game took place this past weekend. Stay tuned for all the All-Star news.
new data about safety and effectiveness can come to light. The FDA keeps track of that new data, which can come from patients, drug makers, or healthcare professionals, and may include information about negative reactions to prescriptions. Based on this information, the FDA may recommend that the drug maker update the drug labeling by adding warnings or updated dosage information. Changes could also include the FDA requesting a drug recall. Find the answers at fda.gov/drugs.
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. Let them have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. Good job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a grown-up every day.
This is your Kent Stater TV Sports Report.
Welcome back, guys. I love watching sports.
Me too, especially all the drama that comes with winning the medals. A Swedish curler accused a Canadian of cheating on their match Friday night.
Sweden's Oscar Eriksson and Canada's Mark Kennedy got into the verbal altercation, and Eriksson made his accusation. Kennedy reported with profanity.
The Olympic Rule Committee bans foul language and deemed this interaction as inappropriate. However, the umpires did not record a violation for the incident.
Well, I love watching sports.
Me too, especially basketball.
Yes. Here's Trent Branchin with more. Hi, Trent.
How's it going? I'm Trent Branchin. I've got tons of sports news from this past weekend, so let's get right into it. Starting in Kent, the Kent State men's basketball had some action this past Saturday as the Flashes took on Ball State. The game was close up until the end, but Kent State pulled out the win, 75-68. Dareko Gillespie had a double-double for the Flashes, with 22 points and 14 rebounds. Gillespie was also named MAC Player of the Week for the third time this year. The Flashes will be back in action tomorrow as they take on Bowling Green at 7. To watch, it will be on ESPN+. Staying in Kent, the baseball team had a triple header this weekend against Southern Louisiana. They swept them, moving to 3-0 on the year. Their game yesterday was a blowout, 14-7. Sawyer Soletra led the way for the Flashes with 1 home run and 2 runs scored, helping him to win MAC Player of the Week. Grady Mee also had a great game with the home run and 4 RBIs. They play again tonight against LSU at 7 p.m. on ESPN Network Plus. The AP Men's College Basketball Top 25 came out this morning. Let's take a look at how different it is this week. Arizona's reign as the top team is over after 9 straight weeks of being ranked number 1, after they suffered back-to-back losses to Kansas and Texas Tech. You know what that means? We've got a new number 1 in the Michigan Wolverines as they are riding a 10-game win streak. Then Houston at the 2 spot, Duke ranked 3, Arizona falls to 4, and rounding out the top 5 is UConn. The NBA had their All-Star events this past weekend, and in case you missed it, I've got the recap for you. Damian Lillard took home the State Farm three-point contest crown as he barely beat Devin Booker in the finals. This is his 3rd win in the three-point contest. Keshad Johnson of the Miami Heat won the AT&T Slam Dunk Contest, beating Carter Bryant in the finals. The All-Star Game had a brand new format this year. Instead of East versus West, it was U.S. versus World. The U.S. had 2 teams. USA Stripes was headlined by LeBron James, Kevin Durant, and Kawhi Leonard. The USA Stars was led by Tyrese Maxey, Devin Booker, and Anthony Edwards. And Team World was anchored by Victor Wembanyama, Luka Doncic, and Nikola Jokic. They played in a round-robin tournament with USA Stars taking on USA Stripes in the finals. The Stars crushed the Stripes, winning 47-21, led by All-Star Game MVP Anthony Edwards. And that's all the sports news I have for you. To stay up to date on all things Kent State or more, head over to kentstater.com and make sure to follow Kent Stater Sports on Instagram. For KSTV, I'm Trent Branchin.
Looking for a ship looking for a shipwreck for more than 65 years. Stay tuned to see what was found.
Illicit fentanyl is the deadliest drug threat that our nation has ever experienced. We lost Leo when he was only 19, killed by fentanyl he didn't even know he was taking. He was my heart, my son.
My grandson. I wish you could have met him. Such a beautiful young man. Kind, smart, funny, sweet, a great kid.
Go to ladrfoundation.org to join us in the fight against fentanyl.
Thank you.
First, they said cigarettes were safe. We know how that turned out. Now, they say they didn't market e-cigarettes to teens? Fact, more than 1 in 4 high school students are vaping, and 80% say their first e-cigarette was flavored. Vaping is harmful to developing brains. The reason we think vaping is safe? Marketing. Same lies, different day. Tell Big Vape to quit lying.
Back, a zoo in France gained a big addition to its family on Sunday. The Beauval Zoo in central France welcomed a baby elephant, its first elephant in 13 years. The zoo said that the 7-hour delivery was difficult and that they were not sure if the mother and calf would survive. The baby girl weighed in at 330 pounds. Thank you for tuning in on your Monday evening. For more stories in your community, be sure to check out thekentstater.com. I'm Lila Schaefer-Hughes.
And tune in at 8 p.m. for Sports Corner. I'm Amanda Nichelle. Have a good night, Portage County.
I surrender.
All right, pal. Get ready for the day, buddy.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Dad. Do we have a gun?
What's that?
Do we have a gun?
When you look at me, you might see
a person with Parkinson's disease.
But if you look closer,
you'll see
a warrior mom.
An endurance athlete.
Someone with a lot of fight.
Every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association.
Look closer.
My spirit
is unshakable.
Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
Hate is loud. It gets clicks. It gets attention. Hate, however, is actually quite small. But love is the majority. Love fills our hearts, our lives, our every day.
Put the keys down, Kevin.
But I'm gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
My text to emoji ratio has gotten a little out of hand.
A little?
Yep, I'm definitely gonna call a ride home.